Good morning, gentlemen. Welcome to week 2 of Movement 56. I'm proud of you. And let me just say, let's dive right in. Boy isn't an age, it's a mindset. It's childishness. And I want to take you beyond yourself. This life isn't about this life. Someone depends on you. So stand in the gap. Lay down that sin. Lay down that addiction. Go after it with spiritual disciplines. Grow. Transform. I am proud of you. Don't give up the work. Tenet 2 is this. Boys make excuses, but men take responsibility. Boys make excuses, but men take responsibility. You see, maybe you grew up in a church and you saw the famous photo of Jesus as the good shepherd. You know the one I'm talking about, where Jesus is wearing the bathrobe with the blue sash and carrying a sheep that he was petting and he was so kind to and had such a meek smile. And sometimes we see that photo and think, oh, that's cute. That must be religion. But what forever changed my perspective of that photo was hearing that when a sheep strays off from the shepherd, what happens is this: when the shepherd finds the sheep, he breaks the sheep's legs. Then he mends the leg that's broken, and then he carries it so that it bonds to the shepherd and will never leave his side again. Now, I'm just going to say this. Jesus having a pet sheep, that was not biblical. There is no time in the Gospels where Jesus had a pet. The picture is an artistic attempt to illustrate Jesus as the good shepherd. But when Jesus actually said, "I am the good shepherd" in John 10, it wasn't a warm, fuzzy moment. John 10:6 says that when Jesus called himself the good shepherd, people didn't understand, so he broke it down. He said, "I'll tell you the truth. I'm the gate for the sheep. Those who come through me will be saved." You see, shepherds didn't just watch over the sheep, they became the gate. At night, they would gather the sheep into a pen, but there was no swinging door, just an opening. And the shepherd would literally lay down in the gap. He became the last line of defense. If a predator wanted to attack the sheep, it had to go through him first. And Jesus says, hey, that's me. I stand in the gap. I lay down my life for my flock. Anything that wants to get to them has to come through me first. That's not a passive sheep petting Jesus. That's a warrior. And here's what I want to challenge you with. If Jesus stands in the gap for his people, shouldn't we? Nobody gets to my wife unless they come through me first. Nobody gets to my kids unless they come through me. Nobody gets to my brothers unless they come through me. Nobody gets to my church unless they come through me. And I don't mean through my strength. I mean through his strength. The same power that raised Christ from the dead is running through me. God is looking for men who will stand up for those who can't stand up for themselves. Men who won't make excuses, men who won't back down. And that's why I don't like the image of Jesus petting a pet. I like the image of a strong leader, because Jesus, as the gate for the sheep, that's the real picture of biblical manhood. And there's something that switches in a man when danger is present. I'll fight for my family. I'll fight for my wife. I'll fight for my church. Jesus left heaven and he came to earth to fight for you. He resisted temptation and he fought for you. He laid down his life and he died for you. And I want to ask, who are you willing to stand up for? Jesus told a story in Luke 10 about a man who was left beaten on the side of the road. And the first guy walks past him and he ignores him. And the second guy walks past and he ignores the beaten man as well. And by the way, both of these men were religious leaders. The third guy, he picked up and bandaged his wounds. He carried him to an hotel and he paid for his care and even promised to cover any future expenses. Jesus wasn't just asking, who is my neighbor? He was asking, who are you willing to take responsibility for? Because boys make excuses, but men take responsibility. And here's the next question. Are you willing to get up before everyone and read the word and pray, even if nobody sees it? Are you willing to serve if nobody knows? Because let's be honest, a lot of what we do goes unnoticed. A lot of what we do as men is unseen. And hey, that's okay, because we don't do it for credit. We do it for him. Did you hear me? We don't do it for credit. We do it for him. Jesus said in Matthew 6:3, don't let your left hand know what your right hand is doing when you give. In other words, he's saying it's not about recognition, it's about faithfulness. Paul said to Timothy said in 1 Timothy 5:8 that a man who doesn't provide for his family is worse than an unbeliever. Now, this isn't about how much money you make. This is about responsibility. What is your responsibility as a man and as a man of God? Let me ask you this question. What is your responsibility as a man of God? You see, I want a shift to happen in you during the next few weeks. That you move from a boy to a man, from someone who makes excuses to someone who gives the extra mile, someone who is fighting for a break to someone who is fighting from a place of authority. There's something that God put inside of you that says, I will stand in the gap. Psalm 1 says that when we are planted by streams of living water, we become trees with branches that do not wither. The heavier life gets, the more weight we carry. But when we're rooted in Christ, we become strong enough to hold the weight. So let's ditch the excuses and let's stop playing it safe. And let's be the kind of men that God can trust with great purpose. Boys make excuses, but men carry weight.